Hey everyone, it's Ryan on the Syntax Byte, and this video is a follow-up to a very popular one on my channel that I made a couple years back. It's probably more than a couple years now, actually, on getting Google Directions in Microsoft Excel. So using the Google Directions API to pull travel times specifically into Microsoft Excel. Google is unfortunately retiring the Directions API that was used in that video, so some folks have started to have issues following the directions in that video. But the good news is Google is replacing it with an API that works very, very similarly called the Routes API. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to use the Routes API to get travel time and travel distance, and even more information if you want to, into Excel using that API. So it'll basically give you Google Maps directions in Excel. And I'll do a comparison at the end just so you can see that the travel distance and the travel time that I get in Google Maps is going to be the same that actually appears in Excel, or roughly thereabouts. The other change I'm going to make, if you had seen that previous video, is in that video we used VBA. I don't think there's really a need to use VBA. We can do this all in PowerQuery, which I think is a little bit friendlier for the average user. So we're going to go ahead and use PowerQuery this time to do it. So the very first thing that you will need to do is you'll need to actually get set up with this new Routes API. So as part of the Google Maps platform, it's called the Routes API, not the Directions API. It replaces the existing Directions API, which was used in my previous video. So they sound similar, they're not actually the same API. What you're going to want to do is if you don't have an account and everything set up already, you're going to want to go ahead and click Get Started with Google Maps platform, generate an API key, all that stuff. The result of that is going to be that you are going to have an app. So mine is called Excel Macros. If you're in this Google Cloud platform here, what you want to make sure is that the Routes API is enabled. So you can see I have some here that are not enabled, the navigation SDK, etc. You want to make sure that the Routes API is enabled. So I have that enabled, so that's good. And then the other thing you want to make sure is that you have an API key that you can use, okay, for the Maps platform. So you want to make sure that Routes is enabled. You want to make sure that you have an API key, and then you're going to be good to go. Of course, I'll be deleting my API key after this video. I believe there is a quota that you're allowed to use for free, and then after that they start charging you. I'm not sure exactly when they start charging you, but you should be able to do quite a few directions for free. You do have to sign up for billing, so you will need a credit card if you do want to go ahead and use this, even if you're just within the free allowance, unfortunately. All right, so with that being said, we can go ahead and hop over to Excel here. We're going to do this all in PowerQuery. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to Get Data under the Data tab. Unfortunately, we are going to still have to kind of do some coding because there's not really a good way to set up this query in the UI. Hopefully one day that will not be the case, but for today, there's not really a good way to set up this query in the UI. So what we could do is we could go to Get Data, go to From Other Sources, and then we can do a blank query. And it opened on my other monitor, but there we go here. So we have this blank query. And basically what we need to do with our query here is we need to make a web request, okay? So we need to basically format a request in the format of this here. So this, if you haven't seen this structure before, this is called JSON. JavaScript object notation. It's basically just a way of storing data, and in this case we're storing basically the data that tells the API, hey, like this is my request, this is like the origin, the destination, this is like the type of information I want back, this is how the person is traveling, are they driving, are they walking, are they taking transit. We can add all of that stuff in here. You can add in arrival times and departure times if you want, just like you would be able to do on the Google Maps application itself. Basically anything that you can do there, you can actually put in this representation if you want to. In this video, I'm going to be using a single origin, a single destination. You can have intermediary waypoints. That's fully possible. You know, you could do other stuff, transit preferences and that sort of thing. Basically anything you can do on the app, you can do here. So basically we need to submit a web request. And for those who are familiar with web requests, this is actually going to be a post web request. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about that. But we need to submit a post request with this JSON document and our API key. And then the other thing that we need to specify is we need to tell Google, like, what do we want it to actually return. And so we also need to specify something called a response field mask. And that's going to be things like, oh, we want the distance in meters, we want the duration. We can also ask for something like a static duration. So basically, if you go over here, it's going to return a route. And this route is basically all the things you can return. So we're going to return distance, meters, and duration. But the one thing I'll call out here is that you probably want to consider returning the static duration depending on what your application is, okay? So static duration won't take the traffic into account. By default, duration does take the traffic into account. So that's just something to be aware of. You can also return the legs if you actually want the route instructions, kind of step-by-step instructions. You can return that as well. But you don't have to return that, which is kind of good compared to the last API. Okay, so kind of with that all out of the way, what we can do is I will have this code in the description. If you do just want to go ahead and copy it over, absolutely feel free. You could also pause the video and type it in. But I think it would make the video kind of long and boring if I were to type it all in. So I'm going to go ahead and paste the code in, and then we can kind of go over what each piece of the code does. And then we could go from there in terms of how you can actually use this in Excel, and as well how you can modify it to get some new pieces of information in there if you want. Okay, so we're going to start with this. We'll say in JSON. So the code that I've pasted in here, which you'll be able to paste in from my website as well. We're going to remove this let here because that is not useful. Basically what this does is it adds two parameters. So it actually converts the query into a function, which is useful for us, okay? So the first parameter is this origin. Now origin is text, so you could literally just type in an address. It doesn't have to be a complete address. You could just type in kind of generally an address. And then the next thing is the destination, okay? So the destination is where you're going. Okay, so we have where you started, where you're going. We set the URL, which is the API URL. Then we set the body, which is, like I mentioned, we have this JSON document that we're going to send Google that's going to tell Google about the request, okay? Origin, it's the address. It's being passed in by the user, or I'll show you how to hook this up with a table at the end. Destination, same thing. It's being passed in by the user. It's an address, okay? Travel mode, you could have this passed in by the user as well if you want. In this case, I've just set drive. We could check out transit later. Routing preference is traffic aware, so it'll be aware of the traffic. So when you send this request will matter because it will assume that you're leaving at that time. We're only going to compute one route. We don't need to have any of these like modifiers, avoid ferries, avoid highways, avoid tolls. You can do that if you want. Units here is set to imperial. I just took this from like the default. Request body. And the things I'm requesting back is actually the distance in meters, okay? So it is going to actually be in meters. So despite the fact that I pass imperial units here, it actually is going to be in meters. Other things that are important here is xgoog API key. This is where you're going to put your API key. You will need to adjust this from the code that you copy in from my website, if you copied in. The other thing here is this xgoog field mask. So this is the things we want it to return. So we have routes.duration, routes.distance meters. Okay, so that's all I'm going to have it return for the moment. And then we're going to make a JSON document of that. So basically, it's going to return back another thing that looks formatted like this. we want Excel to parse that and basically put it in a table for us, okay? And then we want to kind of work with that object. So that's the start of the query. We can work with the object and make this something that is actually returns those things rather than just having the raw response. But I just want to start with the raw response so that we can kind of see what that looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and click done here. And when I click done, you can see that this query is a function. So I actually need to type in an origin. So I'll pick a couple of Toronto destinations. So I'll start at Queen's Park, Toronto, Ontario. And I'm going to go to the Art Gallery of Ontario, okay? And we'll invoke. And so it's going to give us a routes list. Now, one thing you might also have is there could be like a security warning pop up. Just tell it that it's okay. So it gives me my routes. We only have one route because we didn't request additional routes. And there we have a record. We have distance meters and duration 371 seconds. So it's about 1.8, 1.9 kilometers. And if we go over here and we specify that we want to take a look at, let me just refresh this. There, that looks better. If we say that we want to go from the to Queen's Park, or sorry, we want to go to the Art Gallery of Ontario, and we want to go there from Queen's Park. Okay. We can see that it's about 1.5 kilometers. That's a bit interesting. It didn't give us the same result. Okay, so just it pulled up a slightly different location for Queen's Park, but you can see it's 6 minutes and 1.9 kilometers, which basically lines up with what we had there. So that looks good. You can see that the route is actually matching. If you want to check it even further, we can go ahead and click details here. And if we go back, I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete that. And if we go into our query, we go back to the advanced editor. If we actually just do routes.legs here and click done, and we do the same thing, Queen's Park, Toronto, Ontario, and we want to go to Art Gallery of Ontario, invoke. Slight spelling mistake there that led to some kind of a blank document, but if we click the routes here, you can see now there's a legs, and that's a list, has a record, okay? So the first leg, which would be between like the start, the origin, and the first waypoint, which we don't have any waypoints here, so that's why there's only one leg. But we can see, so there's that. But if we go to the steps, you can see this step is going to take 160 meters, and there's a navigation instruction, which is head south on Queen's Park. And we can see that matches exactly what's here, okay? Head south on Queen's Park, it's going to be 160 meters, and that lines up exactly. So basically that's how you know, like it's the exact same route that we're actually getting here in the API and what is actually being displayed on Google Maps, which is really cool. So the next thing that I want to do is basically take this function that I have. I'm going to get rid of the legs piece because I don't think we need all of that. We just need the duration and the time. So I'm going to get rid of the legs piece. And what I'm going to do is I want it to basically return me like a single record with the two pieces of information here. So, and then that way I can kind of build a table with these things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say routes is equal to JSON routes. And we need a comma here. And then comma there, we'll do routes1 equals routes 0 because there's only going to be one route. So we get a thing back that has potentially multiple routes. We'll take the first route. Sorry, this should actually be like that. And then we can do route record equals, and we basically assign values here. So distance is equal to routes1, distance meters, and duration equals routes1 duration. Okay. And then instead of returning this JSON, I can do route record. Okay. And so if I click done now, and you're gonna do the same thing, okay? Queen's Park, Toronto, Ontario to Art Gallery of Ontario. Invoke. And now I get this nice little thing. It has distance and duration. What we're gonna be able to do is use this query, this function query, and actually pull distances and durations as columns if I have a table. So I'm going to show you how to do that now, how to actually use this in Excel. So we've created our query. It's called route time and distance. So we could do that. And I'm just gonna, for now, I'm just gonna close and load. It's gonna create a connection only. There's nothing else for it to do with a function. And here I'm gonna create a table. So we'll do origin, destination, and we can do origin is Queen's Park, Toronto, Ontario, and destination is Art Gallery of Ontario. Maybe for the next one, I'll go ahead and say like Toronto, Ontario to, I don't know, how about Mississauga, Ontario. So we'll do like a city one just to show you could kind of type in like whatever you want. We could do Queen Subway Station, Toronto, Ontario to Union Station, Toronto, Ontario. So we just have a diversity of things here. Next thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and go to data, and we'll do from table range. Make sure you check it has headers, assuming you did put those in there, and click OK. So now I want to get the travel time and distance with the routing API for between these origins and destinations. I want to do this very quickly. Well, luckily I can use my function that I just created to do this. So how do we do this? We go add column, invoke custom function. Luckily I have this. Route time and distance, we could just call it route for now. Origin is going to be origin. Destination, make sure it's that column name, destination. So we're going to pass from the table now instead of manually typing it in. We're going to pass from the table to the function, okay? Click OK. Works pretty quickly. Okay, this is where you get the security thing. Information is required about data privacy. It wants to make sure it's like private. Just say ignore privacy level checks for this workbook. And now we can load those column names. We can expand the distance and the duration. And we have route.distance and route.duration. That's basically how you use this. You can now do like a close and load too, and then just like set it up to a new worksheet. And then you have your durations and your distances there. As I mentioned, you may want to use static duration instead of duration if you don't want it to be affected by traffic. You can also modify the query to add in the travel mode. You can also add the travel mode as another parameter if you would like to. There's lots of ways that you could expand on this. But I think that kind of covers what was covered in my previous video that was so popular, and provides a good jumping off point for anyone who might want to expand a little bit on this. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that was helpful. If you liked the video, go ahead and put a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more Excel tutorials like this. And I will see you in the next one.